Welcome in, everyone, to Barely Educated episode Detroit Lions Debacle. I'm Mark, joined as always by Chris. Chris, how are you?
Ooh, that's a good title. I think I'm gonna go with that when I post it. Detroit Debacle. I'm all right, but still trying to process what we saw yesterday afternoon. Wow, there's a lot to talk about here.
There is, and I guess I should mention, obviously you know this, but for the listeners, I'm at the O'Hare Airport. I
Yes.
fly home in a little while, so committed to the cause here because that game demands a reaction.
Yes, it does. And you're about 2 miles away from where I grew up, my friend.
So yeah, I'm gonna take the saddest victory lap ever here because that game is exactly what I've been trying to say for the first part of a year and a half about why it's stupid to hire this kind of coach. You got the exact game that he wants, and you still lost
Yeah.
because he's that bad of a head coach. But the ceiling with this style, I mean, normally, okay, let's be honest, it's historically incompetent to have 40 minutes time of possession and win the turnover battle and lose the game. Like it's literally that's never happened since
Yep.
1932 in this staff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that you will win. But my point is, that style isn't enough. You can still most of the time you would win that game, but you can still see that this guy's just not going to be the end. And I don't think there's a single Bears fan on my Twitter who wants to have him coach the team next year. You know anyone actually advocating for him?
No, no. The only thing I see is people afraid that he will be back next year, which
Yeah, that's different than wanting him back.
uh
So this is obviously a coaching loss before it's anything else.
yeah. So just a
Not
quick
even like 98%, entirely on the end game management and play calling at the end and kicking field goals on 4th and 1 on the 20 when you could try to ice the game. You could defend that to go up 12 as opposed to 9. I get that. But every decision was cowardly, Chris. Every one of
yes,
them.
yes. Could not agree
But it
more.
really came down to run up the middle, run off the left tackle / guard, throw the ball, punt. That was the game right there. Second to last offensive series.
Yeah,
And the blown coverage, which we're pretty sure was Eddie.
yeah.
But as cousin Nate pointed out,
Cousin Nate, good morning.
it's amazing how bad they are at zone, how many blown coverages they have, and that's supposed to be coach's specialty. And it looks like it's Jalen's fault, but if you watch the replay, he's covering Amon-Ra St. Brown like on a deep out or something closer to the sideline, and then he realizes that nobody's got Williams
Yep.
and tries to get back like he's just hustling. But I'm pretty sure the deep part of the field at that point is Eddie. It's
Yeah.
his job normally. So I don't know if they'll ever tell us, but that's my read on it at first glance.
I agree. I'm 99% sure that was supposed to be Eddie. Absolutely.
So those couple things. Which part of that's a player gap, but this is a continual problem. Like even when the defense is playing well, they will have blown assignments in the thing that they're supposed to be good at, and definitely the in-game management. To me, those are why you lose. Justin Fields is basically nowhere near the discussion, in my opinion, on why you lost that game. I mean, obviously, I don't like the play at the end, but you already had lost at that point.
Yeah,
And he played a good game.
He did. He did, and in fact,
wasn't amazing, but he was good.
Yeah, he was good. I would.
Take your victory lap now because you mentioned this coming in. Your categories that you wanted to see and where you rated that game.
Yeah, I wanted to see in these last 7 games 3 great games from Fields, 2 good games, and then allow for 1 game and 1 bad game. So I am confidently putting yesterday in the good category for Fields, especially after being gone for 5 weeks with a hand injury on the road against the division leaders, a possible Super Bowl contender. Yeah, Fields was really good yesterday. I'm not going to go great. There were, too many missed deep passes, and
Great would have to hit the first touchdown potential to more.
Mm-hmm.
and
But
Great wouldn't turn it over at the end, I guess.
yeah,
Right.
I,
But I mean, I think the game's over at that point. But I do
it
agree. There are
is.
too many missed deep shots. A couple to me that looked really weird where
Mm,
I thought, ooh, the hand might be bothering. Because normally the arm is not the issue.
right, exactly. Yeah.
But he was still productive. And he come on, went on the road, played a good team, scored 26 points. And I mean, I'm just going to keep preaching it until he's gone. The coach let him down because the coach is a loser.
Yeah.
It's what he does. He loses.
He's,
He coaches not to lose and then promptly loses.
yeah, yeah. Oh
I'm,
man.
I'm not. I'm not going to blame this on Justin at all. Your coach is now 16-22, 0-9 in the division. Has never beaten a team with a winning record. Has never won 2 games in a row. What do we do?
Yeah. I can't even put yesterday on.
If by some miracle they fire him in a couple hours, you're welcome, everyone. Since we recorded before that news break, not that that's happening.
Oh man,
Would that be funny though?
that'd be. I wish, but yeah, I don't see that. Don't see that happening. But
Emergency landed at the airport pod. Hey, I'm back at a different airport, everyone.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I'd be all on board for that. Yesterday, I can't even put
Yes.
on Getsy though. Even like Getsy called a good game for
It was,
Fields.
they called a Fields game plan. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I honestly, I know people are mad at him too. I highly doubt he's the reason that last real drive before the fumble, the one that mattered,
Yeah.
actually looked that way. That looks like the head coach being like, this is what you're doing.
I agree.
And I will say this, poor Tyler Scott, he stumbled a tiny bit trying to track the ball. It was a perfect throw, and the game's over if he doesn't stumble.
Yep.
On that third down deep shot is a great ball.
It was. Yeah.
So, I think the Bears have failed Fields way more than he's failing them, at least yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And even the fumble yesterday, like, what are the odds that your best offense? He should have, but it was his best offensive lineman that got pushed back into him.
Basically owned Hutchinson the whole day.
He did. He really
he won the matchup. Just, of course, the Bears owned the Lions the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get over losing a game when you had 40 minutes time possession.
Yeah.
And again, that's my little sad victory lap, because all these little quick game yards and 5-yard runs don't matter if you're settling for field goals.
Mm-hmm.
Any one of those drives, a touchdown, the Lions don't have a chance.
Yep. The sack fumble and the safety after they had already taken the lead, that was just almost comical. That
we just all knew this was going to end in a way that would make Fields look bad to the morons who just want him to look bad.
Oh yeah,
and look, I'm on record as saying that it's perfectly reasonable to move on from him based on how he's played overall. If you fire the coach, and you want to reset both, fine. But don't you dare scapegoat him and keep this idiot coach.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
You want to hire a new coach and keep Fields and draft Harrison and somebody else? Fine. The only scenario I will not abide is keeping the coach. Well, pretty much at all, but especially keeping the coach and scapegoating the Fields.
Yeah, is that seeming more likely to you now? And based on Ian Rappaport's story yesterday, that the Bears would have to be blown away?
The story actually didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense, because in the same story that he said the Bears were saying they have to be blown away, they have to also see all these things from Fields. Okay, so we're just evaluating everything, right? Like it was a non-story, I thought.
Okay.
It's the exact same thing Foles said last year.
It is, right.
That said, as the college season went on, at least in the case of Caleb Williams, my concerns grew. Where maybe it doesn't seem like there's such a home run here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think May still could be the guy you want. But what if you're picking second and you're worried about Williams' maturity? Mm-hmm. Isn't that a Marvin Harrison come on down scenario?
I think he's the best player in the draft, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, for sure. So he's the one who's generational. We haven't had a receiver prospect this good, Calvin Johnson, according to like every scout.
Yeah.
So I mean, what if you ended up using, let's say, I don't know. Right now, Carolina is really sitting pretty for you to have one, but let's just pretend.
Yes, they are.
it's at 2. and you used your number one last year to get DJ Moore and Marvin Harrison. That's a heck of a job on the asset management.
Right? It really
Just
is.
saying.
Yep.
So my
Yep.
point is, there's a number of scenarios and permutations with the draft, with the quarterback decision that I think you can defend.
Yes.
I don't think there's any defending keeping the coach.
Nope.
I don't
None.
care how the defense looks down the road. The second the coach has to do something strategically to win a football game, he can't do it. The second his decisions matter, you lose.
Yeah.
And it's 28 games worth of it. This isn't like up for discussion.
Yeah.
He has to be fired. And you can do a lot of other things and defend it, but you cannot keep it. Am I
Yeah.
being too hard? Am I too strong on this?
No, not at all. I couldn't agree more. I was hoping that we would have heard something this morning. Actually, I mean, I doubt it, but
Well, it's only 8, so it's a little early.
for all the reasons you
I
said,
doubt it, though.
Yeah, I do too. And I agree with you 100% on Eberflus telling Getsy yesterday, play it safe, play it safe. We just need to, eat up the clock and then we'll win. Totally agree with that because Getsy hasn't been too conservative as a play caller. He's just been.
They did take deep shots a few times, more than I expected yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a really nice game plan until it fell apart at the end from Getsy.
Yep.
I actually think he gets hated a lot because when it's bad, it's so bad.
Yeah.
But there are times where like, hey, that was actually good. And it's hard to remember that when like we have the game against the Vikings and we don't know that they blitz and you're not prepared for them to blitz and like how is this possible? Like the lows are really low.
Yeah.
But he has had some good games. And I thought yesterday he had an overall good game.
Agreed. Yeah. 26 points in Detroit. That's impressive. Yeah.
Yep. And then on the other hand, though, just trying to be thorough. NFL teams today, they can't crack 200 yards passing. That is going to make it hard to win in this league. That's what I mean about all the like sustainability stuff. There were limited ceilings, but it wasn't on field. It was efficient and fine. But it was just like we still aren't really opening it up ever. And how about the fact that they're like, we got to see these things, which I totally agreed with. And then they hit the ball out of us.
Yes. We have to find out if Fields.
Why are you not rolling him out to have him run the clock and or make the pass for the first down to ice the game? How are you dumb enough to run up the middle twice?
That's true.
Whatever it was, up the middle and almost off tackle. So,
yeah.
When are we going to hear? Greg Braggs pointed this out. No, go ahead. I'll do the Braggs thing in a second. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that was the situation that you are asking for to see if this quarterback is the guy. It was on a platter for you, and then you just ignore the opportunity. I don't get that. And Poles better be mad about that. Like Ryan Poles.
Yes, because he's actively saying the goal now is to evaluate the QB, and Eberflus is like, run out the clock. With the running backs. I mean, it's like actively not developing the QB.
Right.
Which has been one of the problems all along that I've had with this whole thing. So I was going to say, Braggs pointed out that his frustration isn't asking Fields for consistency in the standards that we talked about last episode, but that he's waiting for anyone to expect it of the coaches. Now, I know the GM's not going to be like, yeah, I need to see more from the coach, but it would be nice if we got a sense that there's more accountability there.
Yeah.
And honestly, we aren't going to know that until Black Monday, right?
Right. Yeah, the only thing Poles has said is, I know it's hard to see it, but I see it, that it's close. It was something along those lines, right? Isn't that what he said a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I think he was hallucinating or something, seeing things that aren't there. No, I mean, it is a game that says, look, they're still not giving up. They haven't gone all trust me in the effort yet.
Yeah.
But he's that bad in game strategically that I'll be curious if this is the game that breaks some of their will.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Just a dreadful loss.
Especially on defense. Yeah.
I mean, Justin's like, I'll be honest, we should have won that game. Jalen Johnson's interview tonight with Parkin and Spiegel ought to be interesting.
That's going to be good.
We should probably talk about him for a second.
Yes, let's do it. That's a pick six.
I don't mind the second drop. The second drop is a really hard catch. and he's a corner, not a receiver for a reason. But that first one is a pick six, and that's your contract friend. Love you,
Yep.
Jalen. Can't drop
Yep.
that ball. You just can't. That's why you're not a top tier one corner. You're a tier two corner because of plays like that.
Yep.
Just is what it is, man. Let's all just be realistic here. That's what they're going to talk to you about in the offseason on the negotiating table.
Mm-hmm.
And that game's like 21-0 if he pitches that.
Yeah, if I'm Ryan Poles,
Maybe.
I'm turning that video on when Jalen comes in to negotiate. You know, like, let's take a look at this.
I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's how this works. I actually think he's a better corner cover man guy than Trayvon Diggs, who's right now at the top of the corner market, I think. But Trayvon Diggs makes explosive plays on the ball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when he gets burned, no one cares because he has 8 interceptions and 2 touchdowns at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And Jalen Johnson gets burned way less, but he doesn't make those game-changing plays enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to cost him.
Could have been his second pick six. Yep.
And that would have been big for him at the table. Just would have been.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Eberflus's table, or Ryan Poles' table, not Matt Eberflus's table.
Yes.
That may or may not have something on it.
I got like a minute into his press conference and I had to turn it off. I couldn't even hear. I couldn't hear the questions. This is on the Bears website. Can't hear the questions from the reporters. So most of it is just like watching him just kind of stare into nothing, you know. But
so it's a football game. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I've never hated a Bears coach like this. Never. And there have been some.
He's the worst they've ever had.
Yeah.
Like statistically.
Yeah.
So to kind of telescope out again. Great loss for us long-term big picture fans.
Yeah.
He had a signature win right in front of him and he punted it away.
Yes,
right. And that's a good fire game. And it's a great game for the tank. Great day for the tank.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I know people hate hearing that, but you need star assets to turn this thing into an actual contender. And I don't care about being like 7-10. That's garbage.
Yep.
And so Bears losing, Giants winning, Packers winning, all that helps the tank.
Yeah, I was really surprised the Giants won. That I didn't expect that against Washington because Washington's at least been decent at times, and I thought the Giants were not going to win another game this year.
3 touchdowns. We determined it at the game watching that we did with Buddy Bryan. Cousin Nate, who's already had his shout out.
Yes.
Right. And my friend Sean, who I was staying with.
Oh, nice.
That we joked around because Cousin Nate was like, Tommy DeVito, what is that? You know, we're like, it's your guy. So he has 3 touchdowns.
Loved him in
Unbelievable game. Exactly. Because he just come out of the U of I QB, just fresh off the New York Mafia with that name. And he actually wins the game. I couldn't believe it.
Tommy DeVito. Yeah.
But yeah, we had fun watching the game and checking on the other scores. But they wanted me to ask you something very specific. So I'm going to do now because I'm afraid I'll later.
Okay.
If it comes down to it, week 17, and it's very much in the Bears' best interest to lose for major chances at someone like Marvin Harrison, let's say. Will you be capable of rooting for the Bears to lose to the Packers for the long-term health of the franchise?
Fair question. In game, it will.
You don't even have to answer now. I just wanted to make sure I put it out there.
Yeah. Well, I can give you an answer. I think I can give you an answer. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think in game it will be difficult, while it's actually happening. But if we get to the end of the game and they lose, then I'll be fine. It'll be fine. Irritated that we're in the situation that we're in. But yeah.
Okay. So you won't take the loss hard if that's what happens, but you're probably not capable for that 3 hours of actually rooting for it.
Correct. Yes. Is that fair? Is that okay?
It's not okay, but it's a very honest answer. No, I'm just kidding. It is a very honest answer.
I'm just trying to be real, man. Just keeping it real.
I think that's what I expect from you.
Thank you. If one of the things that comes from it though is that Packer fans are convinced that Jordan Love is their guy, then I might be able to deal with it in game while it's happening as well.
And it's such a weird subplot for my Bears season is playing the Packers to basically be comically bad enough to be entertained by it, but also good enough to be fooled by love.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very weird spot to be in, I think.
Yes.
I am absolutely there, though, because I do not want them resetting already.
Nope.
And that was a good win for us when they beat the Chargers.
Yeah.
Or Justin Herbert. Can we get that guy some help in the coach and another receiver? Maybe.
Yeah, Justin Herbert is the best example today of why winning and losing should not be a quarterback stat. You know, why people cannot keep doing that. Saying, oh, and I saw it yesterday too, even with the Bears. Like, well, Bajent was 2-2. You know, maybe the Bears win if he had started. He's like, oh, come on, are we really this dumb? Really? But yeah, poor Justin.
Yes.
I agree with you. Poor
We
Justin Herbert. Yeah, we are. You're right. But I mean, yeah, Justin Herbert has just the eye test, man. He's got it. He's doing it. But maybe it's a similar thing that he's got a defensive coach, you know, that's wrecking
maybe
it
the
for him.
Justins are just doomed.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's a Bears enlightenment thing that the gods, football gods, have decreed.
Your name's Justin? Sorry. You're out of luck.
It's no dumber than blaming him for their record.
Yeah. True. It makes just as much sense. Oh, yeah.
All right, my friend. I managed to get this episode in with you.
Yes.
I need to grab a breakfast. I'll get on the plane, or I'll be starving in a little bit.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, get yourself a nice $10 breakfast sandwich at McDonald's or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, airport prices, baby. Here we come.
Ooh. All right. Have a safe flight home, my friend, and we'll chat this week before the Monday night game against the Vikings. All right. Well, hey, thanks everyone for checking in to this episode of Barely Educated and the Detroit debacle, or debacle in Detroit, as Mark called it. Would love to hear your thoughts. Send us an email, barelyeducatedpod@gmail.com. Find us on the socials at barely_educated. Check out our Buy Me a Coffee to join our honor roll, and we'll send you a t-shirt as a thank you. That's buymeacoffee.com/barely_educated. We will talk to you later this week as we preview the Bears Vikings and talk about any news. Cross your fingers that might be coming. You never know. All right. Bear down, everyone.
Got to do a good job of executing that plan, not only during the week, but also, tactically during the game. That's an important part of having tactics.
What sort of meaningless double talk is this?
I'm not an idiot.
What's wrong with you people?
They're very naive and stupid people.
And that's a real shame.
I love the Bears.